Michelle.
And I'm Christina.
And we're back on the sofa. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about Christmas.
First things first, we thought we would discuss
Just our opinions, our observations, and our experiences since living here in Germany and how it compares to America and the UK. Oh, Tannenbaum, oh, Tannenbaum.
What were some of your favorite Christmas traditions as a child in the UK?
You mean other than opening the presents on Christmas Day?
Yes.
Decorating the tree with my mum. Decorating the tree was definitely one of them.
Okay.
Predominantly it was me and my mum doing it. The boys would maybe help a little bit, but got bored quick and we left it to us. Then of course the food, decorating the Christmas table.
What were some of your favorite Christmas foods?
The things that always jump into mind are sausages covered in bacon, stuffing, crispy potatoes. My mum used to be quite fancy and used to normally take a turkey or a big bird of some description, put another one in it, chicken in it, and then maybe a quail in it, and just fill it with multiple birds.
What?
So that's pretty amazing, right?
Wow!
So that when it was cut, you'd see the different colours of the different types of bird meat.
Wow!
My mum's a bit of a guru.
Wow! Like I've heard about people doing. Okay.
That was pretty cool. Like when you saw it carved, my dad was carving it, and then the colours came through. That was really beautiful. One of the things that I enjoyed on Christmas Day itself was popping crackers.
Okay.
Putting the silly little paper hat on, reading the jokes from the cracker.
Okay.
I wasn't so interested in the toys because they're normally plastic rubbish.
The toys from the cracker.
Yeah.
For a moment I thought you meant the toys.
Under the tree?
Yeah.
Back when we were little.
Everything was plastic.
No, mine weren't.
Oh.
I look back at old pictures. I had this giant Kermit the Frog
Oh.
that I still have. He's only got one eyeball now and he's wearing a little old silk pajama. That was mine when I was a little girl. And I remember he was under the tree. He wasn't even wrapped up. So a lot of the presents back in the 70s, 90s under the tree were not wrapped up. He just maybe had a bow on it, but they were there waiting for you on Christmas Day.
They weren't sitting there the whole time. They
No,
were
put in probably the night, Christmas Eve.
they were put there by Santa.
Rolling.
Yeah. Okay.
You?
My sister growing up had very specific ideas about how our family should be, things that we should do. I don't know where she got these ideas, but she was very adamant about them. I remember being very young and having to go find the perfect tree, being really frustrated because it's cold and my parents worked all day and we had to like go find this.
What constituted the perfect tree?
I don't know, and I don't think that my parents really understood either. It was my sister's vision, however old she was. Finally, one year, my mother just bought a plastic Christmas tree.
Please tell me it was pink or white or something.
No! It looked real. That she bought it at Kmart. Yes. No more having to go trudge out and find the perfect tree, which is impossible. Okay, we just put up the tree. My mother and I would put up the tree. It was really great. And then I do remember my sister taking over that part.
Are you talking about literal tree putting up, or are you talking about the decorating of the tree?
All of it.
So your experience of the tree, was the tree really bursting the decorations?
Oh, yeah.
Or was it very sort of dainty and just a few?
No, we had a lot of decorations because my mother had decorations from when she was a kid. I think every year she would buy new decoration. We had all kinds of different decorations. So when her and I would put it up, I know she tried to make it like a family thing. I think in the end we just gave up and let her do it because she was a perfectionist. So it was like, just as long as it's up, whatever. Other things about when I was a kid, food I remember for our holidays, we would always have potluck.
What's that?
Potluck. It's a Native American thing where different people come together and they bring a dish of food, something to share with the group. That's the origin of the word. Our family would get together and a different family member would be in charge of a different part of the meal. And so we would usually have a lot of food, too much food, but then we'd be able to
Part of Christmas.
take a bit of that, take a bit of that home. My father is not one for turkey at American Thanksgiving, and at Christmas, people would, oh, we need a turkey. So somebody would always make turkey, but then my father would always want a ham. So my mother would usually make the ham.
Honey glazed.
Yes.
We had that in the UK as well.
Yeah.
With pineapple slices?
No.
We had that in the UK. With a cherry in the middle?
No.
We had that in the UK.
We'd usually have a ham and a turkey, mashed potatoes, but also boiled or baked potatoes.
Yeah. Dessert pies?
Mhm.
That's very American, right?
Yeah.
Like pies. Yeah.
Pumpkin pie or apple pie. My grandmother made. She didn't just have the recipe in her head.
That's one of the beautiful
So
American
amazing.
traditions. One of the things that I think when people think about America from the UK, they're like, wow, Americans and their pies.
My grandmother was amazing.
Yeah. Whereas a pie is not really a thing in the UK. And for Christmas desserts, as a child, it would be like some sort of fudge cake, chocolate roll.
Talking about that,
Fruitcake.
we would not do fruitcake.
It's British.
When I was not even a teenager, my mother discovered this recipe for death by chocolate. I don't know where it originated. After it was first introduced, I basically requested this for my birthday for years afterwards. Basically, death by chocolate. You have brownies soaked in Kahlua, and then chocolate mousse, whipping cream, caramel, and then another layer of brownie soaked in Kahlua, and so on. And you top it with whipped cream and the chocolate covered caramel bits. It
sounds heavenly.
Amazing. It's amazing. I think the first time my mother made it, at one point my mother came home and I was sitting in front of the TV, cross-legged, with a spoon, with this death by chocolate in my lap, watching TV.
Was this prior to the event of where it should be served?
No, it was after.
Okay, that's not so bad then.
Yeah. She just thought it was hilarious. She remembered, like, maybe you shouldn't eat it all. So,
just thinking about that, my mom, at Christmas time, she would often make her own ice cream parfait type things.
Oh, wow.
They would kind of fancy cinnamon flavour or with plum, very kind of Christmas traditional flavours in the UK. And again, when it was sliced, it just looked beautiful on the table.
Okay.
It tasted scrummy too.
Yeah,
Bit
sounds
fancy
like
though.
it. Yeah.
A thing that's quite famous in Britain, you'd often have these massive boxes of chocolates, and people eat the colours that they like and the different flavours that they like. Is that a thing you do in America at Christmas time? Quite a British thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like you sit around after you've gorged on enough food and actually shouldn't be eating anymore, and you open these big boxes of little chocolates and unwrap them, and part of the fun at Christmas was literally like opening another little present in the chocolate. That was kind of a fun memory as a kid. Okay.
Well, and so yeah, now living in Germany, having kids of your own, what is Christmas like?
We do 1 year with my husband's family and 1 year the British family. When I'm with my mum, it's traditional British, and when I'm with my husband's family, it's traditional local German to where we live. And the biggest difference is in the UK with my family, at the house, there's a lot of decorations, there's a really full Christmas tree, there's a lot of food, a lot of desserts, a lot of snacking all day. Our traditional breakfast starts with a fancy prawn salad that my mum does, and pate and toast and champagne. That's our breakfast Christmas always. And then we have a late lunch, which kind of moves on into the evening. And then we have cheese and crackers and games. Then in Germany, there's a lovely Christmas tree, but it's much more simply decorated than what I do or my mum does. A lot of biscuits. There's normally a starter, a main, and a singular dessert, and that's that.
Okay, so it's a bit more simple.
Yeah. But I mean, for them it's tradition. What they do for the starter, this little pasties thing.
Pasties, you mean like a pocket type thing?
Kind of, yeah. But it's like a fancy pastry thing.
Okay.
And then there's normally like a fancy soup, small amount on a beautiful German porcelain, and it's normally a clear soup. And what they tend to do is cut the vegetables, the carrots, and the potatoes in little star shapes for Christmas. So just that bit more special.
Okay.
And then there's meat, deer, or wild boar with some sort of sauce. And then these fancy little potatoes. They look crispy on the outside, but they're kind of mashed potato on the inside. And then dessert is either an ice cream that my mother-in-law has made, and then biscuits, which they baked. What about you?
Here, our Christmas is just us, usually. Sometimes we have invited a single friend, also doesn't have their family nearby, and they're here by themselves. Historically been really nice. What we usually do Christmas Eve, my husband usually has to work. It's the day for last minute thing. I usually put my husband in charge of the meal during the holidays because he dreams big. And so I usually say, okay, go ahead and do that. I've learned though that he does create good meals. We need to have snacks because we don't eat at a set time. We have to be careful because
You don't want to snack out and not enjoy the food when it's there.
growing up, my family would have Christmas Eve with my father's side of the family and Christmas Day with my mother's side of the family. When I met my husband, would have Christmas Day with my family and his family, unfortunately at the same time. So my family would eat at 1 and his would plan to eat at 1, but they'd like, okay, we'll push it to 2, and they'd be then calling us, hey, are you coming soon?
Oh, you mean literally on the same day?
Yes.
I thought you meant together.
Oh, that would be great.
You're trying
That
to
would
do
be madness,
You're
but
trying
great.
to do everything on the same day, going to 2 different locations.
Yes.
Oh,
It's very stressful.
boom.
I
No.
know. It's a good thing. It's a good thing we love these people.
I am stressed just thinking about that. Even having to travel between locations. No. I want to sit, take my shoes off, drink a few glasses of wine, watch the show going down, watch people chilling, help in the kitchen, not rush from one venue to another.
Yeah, it was stressful, but it's a good thing we love these people.
Is that a typical thing then in America?
Guess. And it was really nice growing up that Eve with my father's side of the family, Christmas Day with my mother's, because my mother had the larger family. Butting up against tradition versus tradition. Who has a right to say, could you move yours, please? Like, that's not fair. So here, we keep it really mellow. My son loves Christmas Day. So normally we let him open one present, Christmas Eve, then Christmas Day. He opens all the rest of them. He gets us up very early. Santa always comes, and so he's always excited to see what presents he receives. I make breakfast. Yeah, we open presents and we play with the things that we receive.
You mentioned that your son's allowed to open one present on Christmas Eve. In Germany, when we have Christmas with the family, they want to open all the presents on Christmas Eve.
And then what did
Because that's when they open their presents, on Christmas Eve, not on Christmas Day.
What did they do Christmas Day?
Since we had the kids, I have very much insisted that they want to open their presents on Christmas Eve, they can, but my children will be opening them on Christmas Day. So they're allowed to open one on Christmas Eve and the rest are on Christmas Day. It's traditional in Germany that you open your presents on Christmas Eve, not Christmas Day. And my husband found that really bizarre the first few times he came to England and celebrated Christmas, because he was like, why are we opening presents? We're preparing for Christmas Day, and we were, getting the vegetables prepared and the sausages prepared. And
You said that as a child, your family set your Christmas tree up a couple weeks before Christmas.
Yeah.
I loved that we had a fake tree because
the needles
that fell, and we could put it up whenever we wanted.
Yeah.
And so in America, I would say the tradition is roughly after Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving is the fourth Thursday. I always, for some reason,
Of which month?
think it's the third. But
I remember you saying that.
I've been an American my whole life. And my birthday is even in November. But for some reason, I forget. But immediately following American Thanksgiving in November, you have Black Friday, which is the start of the Christmas shopping season. That's usually when the different shops have their massive discount. It often benefited people to get up at 3 a.m. and go to the crazy opening sale time. That's when my family would put up their tree. If you celebrate Christmas, when does your family put up the tree? In Germany, put up the tree on Christmas
Day
Eve.
before Christmas Eve.
Yeah, so the 23rd or the 24th. And I've heard that basically the room is blocked off for the entire day.
That's what my husband used to say.
Children are not allowed in. When it's finished, the presents are there, and Santa or Nicolaus might be involved or not. Suddenly, okay, Christmas can start. Let's go in the room.
And it might be singing and opening the presents, and that's done. That's exactly what my husband says. And as you can see, I have a tree here, and I feel like November is a bleak month a lot of the time. Hence why we put it up early, because it's something that brings a bit of joy and a bit of fun and a bit of sparkle into the dark winter months. The tradition of the pickle, the Christmas pickle, the Christmas gherkin. Is it one that do you add a pickle or a gherkin to your tree? And where did that tradition come from?
Yeah, do you do that?
People think it's German,
I totally think it's German.
but it's not.
It's absolutely not.
Can you tell us anything about the Christmas gherkin?
Yes, there is an urban legend that there's a pickle ornament, and it started in Germany. So the story goes that if you are the first person to find the pickle, children get an extra present, and the adults, if they're the first to find the pickle, they receive good luck for the year. The problem with this is that this is supposed to theoretically happen on Christmas Day, but as we've already discussed, Germans don't open their presents on Christmas Day, they open them on Christmas Eve. I've also heard that this story was some Americans said that their descendant, their grandfather or something, was prisoner of war, asked for something, anything to eat before they perished. And the soldier guarding them gave them a pickle.
Must have been German.
And it was Christmas time that this happened. This soldier came home, told his family the story, and said, here's a pickle. We're going to put it on the tree for good luck. We're going to hide it. Who knows? The thing is, that's also part of the urban legend about the story.
Germans do love eating pickles.
Yeah, I think Americans do too. So those fancy ornaments, like the pickle, that the company that first made them, I think anywhere in the world, was from Germany. And that was in the 19th century. I can't remember if this story predates the beginning of this company or not. I don't remember.
Or if the story was an urban legend connected to pickle production.
Right. These ornaments, they're like the very thin glass. They look like metal. They're really fun and creative. Maybe a pickle, maybe other things. At any rate, it's not true.
It's not German tradition.
No.
Originated.
No. However, I have given, I think, all of my German friends, or most of my German friends, pickles for Christmas because, like, why not feed that, right?
And I have also now partaken in the pickle tradition. I have a pickle hiding on my tree.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah.
Totally.
Because it's fun.
It
In
is
fact,
fun.
yeah, I know a lot of people in Germany have very traditional ornaments still. I like to amp it up a bit. We've got chips, pretzels, suitcases, funny dressed soldiers.
Do you buy new for
Yes,
your...
maybe like 5 or 6.
In our house, we will make ornaments or decorations with my son until he is sick of it.
Like for the tree.
For the tree, for whatever. If he's into it, I will do it with him. Every year, we'll buy one ornament.
That's hard to pick.
Yeah, but it's interesting. And actually, this year, because of the pandemic, there were a lot of ornaments of toilet paper.
Really?
Which I thought was...
I have not seen any.
That was really funny. I'm not going to put toilet roll on my tree. I did consider it, but...
Oh, I'm tempted. I want to know where. I need to buy a toilet roll deco for my tree. I think all of these occasions need sometimes a bit more joviality. Even the tradition of the Christmas tree, that's not existed since the beginning of time.
Oh, isn't it German?
Yes.
I did research, but I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Martin Luther were walking in the forest and he saw some tree, and in the background were the stars and the lights, and he got inspired and went home and stuck candles in a tree and put it up. I believe something like that. If not, tell me otherwise.
At some point during the 16th century that Germans did start decorating their trees, probably because of Martin Luther and some religious vision he had of some kind. So it did start in the 16th century here in Germany. Fun fact though, traditionally German Christmas trees are decorated very sparsely, so they don't have a lot of decorations like we would put on our trees today, and they were lit with candles.
Real candles with real flames. A dry tree in your house with a live candle on it.
Nope.
Some people still do it today.
Yeah, I know, we have a cat. That would never work.
But how the Christmas tree got to England was because of Prince Albert, Queen Victoria's husband, who was German. He, coming from Germany, bought the fir tree, decorated it in the palace, and
Having it be royal thing
Yeah.
ended up making it a more acceptable thing for the commoners.
for the masses, exactly. And
Okay.
then so like by the 1860s or whatever it was, any middle class wealthy family had a tree in the home. It became a tradition. You would kind of emulate in the royalty, I guess.
Of course, yeah.
But it was originally the German family who brought it over from Europe
Yeah.
to the UK. Talking of the tree and it drying out though, there's another German tradition, maybe it's farmer's tradition, and my father-in-law goes by this. They believe that if you cut the tree down at a certain time of year, on a certain day, at a certain time, the tree will last for a very long time without dropping its needles. True, it's got something to do with, the sun, the moon, the tide, all the different energies. Do you know anything about wood and when you chop it, whether it burns better or not? Or trees, whether they stay longer or not? I'd love to hear about it.
Let us know in the comments.
New Year's Eve! Happy New Year!
What is your New Year's tradition?
I don't think we ever truly had New Year's traditions, but I do know some from Germany, even from a child, my own experience being a New Year.
Okay.
It centres around the gift giving of a little ornament, which again is supposed to bring good luck to the person who gets given the gift and gives the gift.
New Year's Eve?
Yes. And the gift consists of a little pig,
Good luck, pig.
a ladybird, ladybug, or a little chimney sweep.
Yep.
Those three little items are often in Germany in decorations for New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
and they're supposed to give good luck to both the giver and the receiver.
So every year for New Year's Eve, normally we stay inside the house because he's nervous about all the bangs and whatnot. He loves the lights, but it's the loud noises and stuff that scare him. Germans have to have a special permit to have fireworks, except for New Year's Eve.
I did not know this.
Yes.
Okay.
New Year's Eve is like the one legal time of year that Germans can set off fireworks. In the United States, we have dry states that don't sell fireworks because fire hazard,
Yeah.
right? Because maybe they've had a drought, an extended drought, or they're just a generally dry climate, so that they don't sell them. In other states, like where I come from in Oregon, there are certain fireworks that you cannot buy. However, you can go up to Washington State, usually just north of Oregon, and then buy many of those fireworks. But the fireworks that we would not have in Oregon, they have here. The first couple of years we were here and childless, we would go to different cities with our friends and celebrate.
Okay.
No matter if it was a different city or the city that we live in, it turned into madness people not necessarily shooting the fireworks in the sky, but like inevitably people would be drunk, fireworks would go sideways.
I must admit I have witnessed this in Germany.
This is why certain fireworks
Safe
are
to stay
illegal
indoors.
where I come from.
I think in the UK they often organise fireworks displays.
Of course, yeah, they do.
For New Year.
Yeah,
and
they
stuff.
do in America too, and they're usually phenomenal. Having fireworks only on New Year's Eve, Silvester, that was different for us. Something else different for us, since we celebrate New Year's Eve indoors, I end up buying marzipans, almond dough marzipan, not ornaments, but figurines.
Really?
The good luck pig,
Okay.
the ladybird, the chimney sweep, maybe the four-leaf clover. I get 3 of them to set the table. And then basically, after we've set the table, we're having our meal. We give them to my son because I don't. I love almonds. Do not love marzipan.
My husband loves marzipan.
Germans love marzipan, don't they? Like, isn't that the stereotype? So, yeah.
And in Stollen, he prefers the marzipan Stollen. Stollen's that kind of bread cake type thing full of sultanas or raisins, and then
It's a fruit cake.
yeah, kind of, but like more of a bready fruit
Yeah,
cake, not
more
like
of
a
a-
British fruit cake.
Yeah.
Because a British fruit cake would be more fruit based.
Fruit
whereas
and
this is more-
candy fruit.
Yeah.
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 We never had that back home because it was too much candy fruit. But the Stollen is great. I'd prefer not the marzipan type. But then we have indoor fireworks.
You're talking about like the table fireworks.
Yes.
It's gonna-
But that's what they're called. They're called indoor fireworks.
It's more like a kind of slightly bigger, fancier candle, really, isn't it?
It is.
It's not like a kind of blow up in your
No.
house kind of firework.
Which is why they're indoors.
With us in the neighbourhood, what's happened historically is a couple of the dads down the road have gone onto the street and lit a few fireworks.
Oh, nice.
Or the kids have sort of come out with some sort of bangers and things, and a few people have come out and maybe bought a few bottles of champagne and then just sort of shared that and said
Nice.
cheers at the
Very
stroke of
nice.
midnight. A tradition in Germany, food for New Year, raclette and fondue.
What is raclette? Because I think people in America would know what fondue is, right? It's cheese hot pot. What is raclette?
Well, fondue, as you said correctly, is more, your boiling hot pot of melted cheese and you stick your bits in it and eat it. You could have chocolate fondue as well. But raclette is a little bit more special. It's the same principle as fondue. You have a couple of heated units on the table, and then each person gets given 2 tiny little trays about the size of my hand. You put it under an element, put whatever you want in these little trays, and you basically heat it up and you kind of grill it slightly and then cover it in cheese. The normal ingredients would include some meat, pickles, potatoes, onions, paprika, aka bell peppers, and any little thing you can imagine. We actually did it a couple of years ago for the first time, and we had things like prawns and salmon, and then different types of cheese, whether you want a strong one or a weak one. You put as much or as little in the ingredients as you want, and the point of it is you sit around the table, chat, you take time in eating your food, basically killing the time till midnight.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. We don't do this every year. We do have a raclette, but we don't do this every year. Some years we'll just make pizza. Whenever my family has pizza, we usually make it ourselves. So that's a nice time killer. That's a great time killer, actually. We usually have meals in the kitchen, but on New Year's we pull out the dining table. It's usually the homework station. Plug in our raclette. So we have the grill at the table. Underneath that we have, they look like little padlets. We grill the bits at the table, and then
Oh, true. There's a bit on the top as well. I didn't
Yeah.
explain about that.
and then we have the pieces of cheese. Because there's only 3 of us.
Talking
It's a
about
lot.
you 3 of you, Dinner for One.
Oh yeah.
Dinner for One is a British, it's a mini film, maybe like 12-15 minutes, something like that.
Yep. It's black and white.
Black and, it's like,
It's set in the early 1900s. It's probably from like the 60s or 70s.
yeah.
But when I first moved here, all the Germans that I came across leading up to Christmas and New Year's were like, and they're like, Dinner for One, it's in English, you know it.
Because they all watch it at New Year's traditionally. And the thing is, coming from Britain, I never knew it.
Coming from America, I didn't know it either.
Dinner for who?
What?
And it's true, even my husband and his family love it and find it hilarious. Why is this funny? This is an old lady sat at the table alone on New Year's Eve.
It's a
All of
dinner
her friends
party.
died.
She's
She's
like
old.
90. All of her dinner guests have died, but her butler basically is keeping up the ruse that they're still there because she's so old she doesn't notice.
And he basically takes on the roles of all the missing guests, drinking
Yes.
too much, eating too much. And
It's really drinking
it's quite sad.
because
Because she keeps toasting everybody, doesn't
yes,
she?
and she has 4 or 5 different drinks, one with each course.
So he starts falling over his feet. And
Yeah, and the funny bit is that he gets completely sauced at the end. Spoilers.
No, don't spoil. Go and watch it. Dinner for One. Let us know what you think.
Go and watch it. Let us know what you think.
And is there a New Year's film skit program that you think we should watch? We would love to comment on that.
That just makes me think of Die Hard.
That's Christmas, though. Christmas.
Well, it's American tradition, isn't it?
Is it? I mean, it's an American film, but do Americans watch that specifically?
Germans watch it?
Germans watch it. Said, you need to improve this. Oh, it wasn't so good you did this, but hey, I know you're improving because, Angel says. So that's kind of a more gentle way of dealing with the you've been good or bad. It's a bit more kind of 21st century, maybe not because it's got an angel in it, but, it's still looking at the child as a whole and not punishing them for being a child, essentially.
Well, and it's also not demonizing a group of people.
That too.
That's not okay.
No, which we don't support. Yeah, no demonizing allowed.
So, thank you for watching. This is Christina.
I'm Michelle.
And we together are MC Culture Consult. If you have any ideas about what we should be talking about while we sit on our couch, let us know in the comments. And if you have any thoughts about anything that we've discussed in this episode or another, so please let us know. Leave a comment. You can find us on Instagram. Anyway, thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.